Hey VIPs, Stephanie from Mrs. D's Corner popping in kind of impromptu to talk to you today all about the IEP Caseload Management Binder. I get a lot of questions about how I use it, what's included. I know the preview on Teachers Pay Teachers isn't super fantastic and I apologize for that, but I wanted to pop in just to kind of share what's inside of it with you, how I use it, what it looks like when I use it in my classroom, and mostly just show you what's inside and how to use all of the different parts. So just a little bit about me for everybody that's new. This will be my 9th year teaching special education. I've taught everything from co-teaching middle school, resource inclusion, to kind of like a behavior specialist, support team facilitator at the high school level. I've taught self-contained. So I've done a little bit of everything. I've also done extended school year and summer school. So this IEP collection caseload management binder is something that I have been collecting and using for my entire career. It's different binder things that I've been using, different data collection sheets that I've been using, and I just kind of put them all into one to give you guys a helpful resource to help you stay organized. So what it is it's a binder. Go figure, right? It's a binder. It comes in a bunch of different themes. I don't even know how many I have now. I think there's over 12. This is the best-selling theme. It was the first one that I came out with. So this is the one that some of you may have. This is the Lily Pulitzer inspired theme. My most recent one that I've printed and the one that we're going to take a look at. I also have the tribal one over here, and then I have the black and red and white one over here. So you can see that I like to change my theme up quite often, so 4 times in the last 9 years. And I know that that's something that y'all are wanting, so I'm looking to figure out how to give you guys those options when it comes to choosing a theme and not being stuck with one when you purchase it. So right now how it works is when you purchase a theme, that's the theme that you have. You don't have access to any of the other themes. I am trying to come up with a fair way to give everyone access to all of the different themes. So stay tuned for that, and as soon as that is ready, I will announce it first here in the VIP group. I also did want to mention, because there was a question earlier in the VIP group about using this binder, the IEP Caseload Binder, as a parent IEP binder. And if you're a parent and you're going to be using this, I would recommend the parent IEP binder as the toolkit, and I will do a separate live here in the group about this one and what's included and how to use it, and how teachers, you can help your parents in the classroom, help them stay organized and all of that fun stuff, because I think this is a great resource for parents to have to stay organized, because most times they have more paperwork on their child than you do, because they go through their entire school career, right? So this is for teachers. The other one is for parents. And they're 2 completely separate binders. The one that's linked above is the Caseload Binder, and this is the one we're going to be talking about today. So let's get started. I'm actually going to use this one. This is the one that I used in my last classroom, in a self-contained classroom. All of my data collection sheets are in here and everything, so I'm going to go through it with you. Everything is the same in every IEP binder that you purchase, whether it's this one or either of the 2 behind me. They all contain the same exact stuff. They all have the same guts. The only thing that's different are the fonts and the colors and the theme, essentially. But everything else is the same. All the data sheets are the same. All of the binder dividers and tabs and all of that stuff say the same thing. It's just dependent upon what theme you want to use in your classroom. So this is the Lily Pulitzer theme. This is the theme that I used in the 2016-2017 school year. When you open up inside, I'm going to swing this around. I have the important acronyms in the front. So this is another question. How do I order everything that's inside of this IEP binder? I have the acronyms in the front, and these are state-specific acronyms, or acronyms that really don't change state to state. So I've taught in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Texas, Georgia this year. So a couple different states. All of the acronyms change. Everything changes. So I was so used to, when we moved to Texas 4 years ago, it was always called an IEP meeting. Well, in Texas, it's called an ARD. So these are very state-specific, and you can edit all of these in here. They're in here, but you can edit and add all of the ones that you want. So I keep that first, because I think that's super handy to be able to look at it just like this. Now, I use this IEP binder as a home base for everything that I need when it comes to data collection, state laws, district laws, FAPE, all of that stuff that we need is in this binder. When it comes to student-specific things such as their specific progress reports or student goals or copies of student goals, right? Or their progress reports, all of that goes into their color-coded IEP binders. And I should have grabbed one. It's in my closet over there. You do get, with this purchase, you do get 6 different binders, meaning student binders. So if you didn't want to color code, but you wanted your students' binders to match your IEP binder, there are 6 that are included in the download. They are not the color-coded binders. Those are something separate, and I can link the color-coded binders above. I should have done that beforehand. So this is my home base. This is not where I keep any student-specific information. This is my home base, again, home base to keep everything that I need for my district, the state, all of that fun stuff. So first page is the acronyms, and then I'm going to go into contact information. Now you can either print these on regular paper or cardstock. I also, the first year that I printed them in this one, so this was 14-15, I have my acronyms in the front. I have something falling out. And then I printed it on regular paper and I laminated it. So instead of using the tabs like you saw in the other one, I actually just went and bought tabs at probably Staples or Target or somewhere and just wrote on there what it was. So you can do tabs that way. You can laminate them if you want to, like I did in this one. I only did that one year. I didn't find it helpful, but whatever works for you. Typically, I just print on cardstock. We're falling over. I hear you, and see, it doesn't sit up right because of all the... All right. So we have important acronyms. Again, you can print on cardstock, color paper, whatever you want. The tabs I print on cardstock, white cardstock. I cut them out and then I glue them in. That's it. And if you wanted to laminate this afterwards, you totally could do that. This is where I keep school contact information. So not like parent contact information. That stays in student-specific IEP binders, the color-coded ones. The school information I keep here. So this is a great place where if you have a sub or a long-term sub, they can certainly look in this binder. It's not breaching any terms of confidentiality. It gives them another home base as well to check into. So the principal, assistant principal, all this fun stuff. This is all editable, so you could change the names of all of these if you have somebody, or maybe you have 2 principals or 4 assistant principals, depending on how large your school is. I've been in a school with that many assistant principals. So just a home base for that. Then there's also the IEP team. Now, it depends on the student, it depends on the state, depends on the school, all that fun stuff, who the IEP team is. Sometimes it's grade specific, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it depends on who's available that day to be the general ed teacher. But I like to keep the school psych, the speech path, the occupational therapist, physical therapist, the school nurse, the counselors, and then anybody at district that may be coming to meetings. I like to keep all of their names in one place, their names, their phone number, and their email. It makes it super easy. If I need to email somebody or reach out, I know exactly where to find that information. I also keep grade team contact information for all of the different schools. So my last school was a K-6 school. Well, it's pre-K to 6, pre-K to 4. I'm sorry, pre-K to 4. I have it at 6 here because I just printed it. But I keep all of their contact information here. You could just print this off the website, write it in, type it in, however you want to keep it. I do this because my last classroom was 1st through 4th grade, so I had a lot of grade teams that I had to keep track of and figure out who everybody was. So when I first started, it was a great place for me to have all that information. Caseload. Now this one is sideways. When you go to edit it, it's going to look like this on your page. But you just type it in like normal, like you would type in anything else, and it'll come out when you print it like this. Student's name, grade, age, homeroom disability, due dates, what other service did they receive, and it also comes in different colors. Comes in this format, caseload snapshot with a color and a black and white. Student information, again, I don't keep student information in these, but for this sample binder, I did print this page so you know that it's here. There are student and profiles, and IEP-at-a-glance is included that match the themes of each of them. So you could simply use these as your IEP-at-a-glances. I would print front back. That way you only needed 1 sheet of paper. Like if you wanted to give this to a general ed teacher, you certainly could do that. Your calendars. So you have an IEP tracking calendar, your RR, your annual tracking. That's what RR is. I forget the specific. I have a couple versions of that, but it's your IEPs and your reannuals and all that fun stuff. Your calendars, I don't personally use the calendars within these, but I know it's a great option for some of you. I use the Erin Condren Life Planner. It literally is my life planner, but you could certainly keep track of all of it in here. parent contact information. Parent communication log, I have a separate binder. It is also free in my TPT store. Similar to this, a little bit different, but a parent communication binder. This is in here to match, so if you wanted all of your themes to match for everything, all of your binders, you can certainly keep it in here that way. IEP meetings gives you before, during, and after the meeting snapshot of different things you need to do. It's also editable because it depends on the state that you're in, the different routes that it takes to get to an IEP meeting or different things that you need to prep for an IEP meeting. In Virginia, I had to handle and schedule all of my own IEP meetings. In Texas, I did not. I simply had to write the IEP goals, rewrite the PLAF, and show up to the meeting, and that was it. But not in Virginia, I had to do everything besides the testing. So it's very state specific and it's editable, so you can change all of that out to meet your needs. Friendly reminders that you can send home for parents. Friendly reminders. Again, I keep the copies in here. I might take a paper clip and just copy like the extra copy, so when I need one, I can just pull one out and take it in. There's also one for 504 and so IEP and 504 IEP reminders in here. There's teacher reports. So there are over 100 completely 100% editable data sheets that are included in the IEP binder. Every single one of them, every single theme has the same ones. And they're completely editable because, again, everything from state to state, district to district, school to school is different. While we all have FAPE, right, we all have to follow the same like laws, federal laws. Sometimes different state laws are different, districts follow different rules, or they decide not to follow certain things. You guys know how it works, right? But I left them all editable so you can change the language to make it fit your specific school and the situation that you're in. So there's teacher reports, and this is how I keep track of all of my all of the different data reports, all of different data sheets, not reports, data sheets. So when you get it, it's going to be, there's a PDF version if you just want to print it and organize it, or there is the PowerPoint version for you to completely edit whatever you wanted that's included. I just printed the PDF version and then sorted them into the different tabs that I needed. So this is where I keep all of my basic data sheets when it comes to things that I need data sheets for. So there's a teacher report, another teacher report, the IST nurse form. So this is a form that I use at the high school level. I get a lot of questions about, can I utilize this binder for middle school? Can I utilize this binder for high school? And I do get the feedback that many of the data collection sheets that are included are for lower grades. And there are a chunk that are for lower grades. However, that doesn't mean that a high school student in 11th grade isn't working on a lower grade skill like identifying numbers, because it happens. It really just depends on your classroom. But I do want to say that you can use this. You can use the data sheets that are included in here, edit them to make it work for you, okay? That's what it's here for. So there's a nurse form. This is the form that I use at the high school level. Request for assistance. If teachers want to request for assistance, or you have parents, they want to reach out, they have all these check sheets. Again, I use these at the high school level. They fill all these out, always, most of the time, sometimes, hardly ever, never. All of these different things, social skills, academics, all that fun stuff. So then there's accommodations and modifications, a reminder of the difference between what an accommodation is and what a modification is, the 9 types of adaptation, and then there's lists of different accommodations. So I've taken all of the accommodations I've ever used in any of the schools and districts and states that I've worked in, ones that were given, that were state provided, or ones that I provided for my students that were like in addition to things that the district provided, however you want to word that. But I've labeled them into different accommodations. So reading and language arts, there's space for you to add more. Writing, mathematics, and then there's just general accommodations. So it breaks them down for you, okay? More accommodations. Intervention list. If you have gen ed teachers, you could certainly edit this to put the interventions listed for the kids that are going into resource or inclusion. FBA and BIPs, so you have functional behavior assessments in here. FBA checklists for teachers and staff. Classroom observation forms. Teacher questionnaires for FBAs. Okay, and then you go into transition. So transition is typically not an elementary level thing. This is a middle school, high school thing. So student questionnaires. This is what I used when I worked in K-8, mostly with my my upper level kids who were getting ready to go to high school. They wanted to they had to do kind of like a research project on what they wanted to be when they grew up, right? What path they needed to do, what classes they needed to take, career goals, things like that. So student questionnaires for transition, IEP information and recommendation forms for transition, school age social and emotional adaptive skills checklists, transition interests and activities, again, more transition, just lots of different data sheets, vocational assessment that you can use in your classroom and use at any level to make it fit for you. So there's also a spot for 504 meetings. I don't have any data sheets in here because it really depends on your kid, and only in Virginia I had to keep track of my 504 kids too. Notes, observation forms, meeting minutes if you have to take minutes at the meeting, goals and benchmarks, so different IEP goal monitoring ones, goal updates, just different forms that you can use. Use what works for you. Progress monitoring. So there's a specialist report form, an academic self-assessment for your older kids. What obstacles are they having? How is that impacting your success, and how can you eliminate this obstacle? What can I do to help you eliminate this obstacle? Student self-evaluation. So these are things for your higher level kids so that you can help them. Have them help you help them is what I'm trying to say with that. Task performance. And you have these which are similar to the freebie that you can have in my TPT shop, which is what I use to keep track of the basics of all of my progress monitoring. Objectives for English, did they work on them if you wanted to do it in calendar style? Objectives for math and science and social studies. You could give these to the general ed teachers to keep track of what they're learning every day. Or behavior. Use it to work for you. This one was, oops, I didn't even read it. Behavior data, behavior worksheets, data collection sheets, social playtime, basic prompting, behavior charts. I use this one for tracking bathroom usage and how often my kids were using the restroom, when they were using the restroom, how long they were using the restroom for. I just use that basic calendar, behavior tracker, daily behavior tracker again. So here's, students can report how they're doing, how they feel that they're doing. A report to send today, your child ended the day on green, yellow, or red. Again, it's editable, so if you don't want to use this form, you don't have to, but it's there. There's a larger daily progress report form. Frequency data based on time with different intervals. These are all different frequency behaviors. Frequency behaviors in this format. ABC behavior chart. Now I'm getting way too many. Let me flip it up. There we go. Behavior chart, discrete trials, reading. Oh, I didn't print that one. Look at that. So this one is reading. I have the tab on here. Reading fluency. So this is where reading mastery, reading fluency, reading comprehension, story sequencing, letter identification. So these are some of the lower skills that I used in my last classroom. Letter identification, letter sound, lower and upper. I'm going to flip through these really quick because I know these are all letters. Sight words, Dolch sight words. Words to learn, so you make your own list. Math, I didn't print math either. Number words, 1 through 10. Well, I have that color word identification, adding to 10. So these are just all different skills. Now these are all going to be your elementary level skills. Again, depending on your classroom and the ability levels of your students. Skip counting, coin identification, shape identification, telling time, and then we have data forms. I use my basic prompting, following commands, bathroom chart, Pledge of Allegiance, if you have your students play the Pledge of Allegiance, multi-step tasks, 3-step tasks, 5-step sequence, task analysis, lots of different task analysis dates and trials and all that fun stuff. Correct trials, monthly goal data, implementation checklist. A lot of doubles of some of these. Trials. And then this last one is student work samples. So if you wanted to put that into your student binders that are included in this that match, you certainly could. So all of the IEP binders come with everything that you've seen in this. They're all the same. They all contain the same meat and potatoes, just the theme is different. The fonts is different. The fonts are different. Let me speak correctly. The fonts are different. The coloring is different, but all of the meat and potatoes, all of the binder tabs, everything that's editable, it's all in here. It's all the same from binder to binder. It just depends on what theme you want to go with for your classroom. And there are, oh my gosh, I don't even know, probably 20 plus themes, 22 maybe I think I'm around 20 something. They're all linked above and they are all on sale for $10. I'm going to leave it on sale for $10 through the rest of this week. I know some of you said that you were bummed that they were on sale today or yesterday and you just bought them during the sale, but you guys actually got them for cheaper during the sale using your code than they are now. So don't feel too bummed. You still got the better deal out of all of it. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Leave a comment here, send me a question through the thread, through a post in the group, or send me a message, send me an email if you have any other questions about the IEP Caseload Binder. Again, they're all the same. It just depends on the theme and what theme you want in your classroom. It is very different. If you're looking for something for parents, I definitely recommend the Parent IEP Binder over the Caseload Binder because these are two completely separate things, okay? So I hope this was super helpful for you guys. I will be back tomorrow. I don't remember what I'm talking about tomorrow for Tuesday's Facebook Live here at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, but I will be back tomorrow and I can't wait to see you guys. Bye.